Anderson. I'm the military recruiting manager for BNSF Railway. Have you guys ever heard of BNSF before?
Yeah.
Never? Two out of three? So BNSF stands for Burlington Northern Santa Fe. We're a big Class 1 railroad headquartered here in Fort Worth, Texas. So what we do on a daily basis is haul freight of all different sorts and types. So the railroad, it's kind of a cool industry because basically everything that we touch, everything we do, probably at some time a locomotive hauled that piece of equipment or piece of clothing or piece of machinery or electronics or whatever it is, got it to where it actually ended up. So whether it's taking stuff that comes from the docks way out on the west coast that pulls into the ports of Long Beach, and they haul and they transport all those shipping containers off of those big ships, they put them on our trains, and then we ship them out to various locations across the U.S. Whether it consists of all the, you guys ever heard of the Bakken Shale oil boom? There's a big oil boom in North Dakota.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that, it's kind of interesting there because the pipeline infrastructure didn't exist to actually move all that oil down to the refineries. So we actually haul a bunch of oil out of Montana. North Dakota will actually drive it, for lack of a better term, all the way down here to Oklahoma and to Houston, to the different refineries where they can sell their oil products. But it also consists of what we call consumer products, which is building materials, clothing, electronics, cars, things of that nature. So we touch all those different aspects of the economy. So that's good as an employee of the company because it's job security. No matter what the stock market's doing, stuff got to move. So it's cool in that respect, but it's also kind of cool because we are, we have our hand on the pulse of the economy. We are the economy, for lack of a better term. So it's a really good company. We have about 46,000 employees spread out across the western 28 states. So if you look at a map and you look at the Mississippi River that runs from about Chicago all the way down to New Orleans, everything west of that, all the 28 states and 2 Canadian provinces. So we have those 46,000 employees spread out across that network of operations. We're headquartered here in Fort Worth, right off of Western Center and 35. We're about a 160-year-old company. So we've been around, not as BNSF, but collectively as all the different railroads that we've acquired over the past 160 years. We've been around that long, so it's an older industry. What I do at BNSF is I'm the manager of military recruiting. So BNSF recognizes that veterans, not only their values and their discipline and all that good stuff, but their technical skills and their experience makes them extremely good employees in a variety of different positions that we hire for. So what BNSF does is they pay myself and they pay one other full-time military recruiter. We go out across the country. I was in Georgia and South Carolina just last week. Our other military recruiters in Camp Lejeune today. Just doing recruiting events, doing information sessions, basically just communicating to the military community, hey, you have the skills that we want, you have the skills that we need, here's the jobs that we have, and then helping them along in the application process. Speaking of the jobs that we have an abundance of them. We have, like I said, 46,000 employees in a lot of different types of roles. The most common of which is the conductor trainee role, the guys that actually move and operate the locomotives, but also the diesel engine mechanics and electricians that make the engines run, to the signal apprentices that maintain all the electronic infrastructure on the railroad, to the track workers who build and maintain the track infrastructure, to the dispatchers who actually communicate with the conductors and engineers and basically play like an air traffic controller role in making sure the trains don't run into each other. So even though we are headquartered here in Fort Worth, and we do have a lot of jobs here in Fort Worth, the vast percentage of the jobs that we have are located elsewhere, obviously, across the U.S. But there is a large amount of jobs here in Fort Worth if you're looking at staying local. Probably the biggest one that we have is the dispatcher position. At our corporate headquarters, we have a big building, what's called the NOC, it's the Network Operations Center, and that's where the majority of our dispatchers actually work out of. It's a big, sprawling complex. It looks kind of like NASA. It's very secured. If an F5 tornado, was sitting right on top of it, it'd be completely okay. So we've encased it because, if a tornado tore up our operations center, we weren't able to communicate with trains across, 32,000 miles of track across the country. That'd be a bad day. So we have hundreds of dispatchers who sit down there on the Network Operations Center floor and talk to conductors and engineers all the way across the country. My brother's actually a dispatcher here, so he sits there and he talks to conductors all the way in Chicago. So he's controlling traffic in Chicago, managing if it's Amtrak or if it's our own trains or other trains that have to run. We own the track, so we have to kind of do the traffic police role and make sure that stuff gets to where it needs to be in a timely manner. The really cool thing about that program is that we train our dispatchers. We make our dispatchers right here at TCC. So I think it's right over here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right here. I think it's downstairs, in the lower level.
Downstairs is where we actually do our certification course. It's a 15-week-long certification course for the dispatchers. Had you guys ever heard of that program before, by any chance? You have? What we do is, when you are interested in becoming a dispatcher, you don't have to be a former air traffic controller or anything crazy. Basically, all they look for is 60 college credits in any discipline. Doesn't matter if it's, math or history or whatever the discipline is, it doesn't matter. They're looking for 60 college credits, and you apply actually through TCC. You go to TCC's website. How I usually get to it is I Google Tarrant County College Railroad Dispatcher, and it takes you straight to the site. And that site, I think we have about 8 or 10 classes scheduled for 2015. Gives you the class dates, the deadlines, the application deadlines, tells you what the application has to look like, all that good stuff. And it actually comes to TCC, to a lady named Terry Clean. She manages the whole thing. So what happens is we contract with TCC. They actually host the certification course downstairs. All the instructors are BNSF instructors, chief instructors, and we teach you how to be a dispatcher right here at TCC. Halfway through the class, you have to interview to get into the class. You have to interview with BNSF to get into the class, to get a Class C, because we want to make sure that you're successful. We want to make sure that if you do get in, there's a high chance of probability that you're gonna pass. Because it's a hard class, you have to maintain a 90% average. It's very abstract information, if you can imagine. It's train rules and terminology and all that stuff. But if you get through it, halfway through, we give you a job offer. If you're doing well, 8 weeks through the course, we give you a conditional job offer. And that allows you to complete your medical and your background checks while you're finishing up the course. And can anybody take a stab at how much a dispatcher makes starting off?
$75,000.
70, almost.
Say 70.
70? No, I meant like
80.
Higher.
80.
80,
Almost.
85. 90. 85. 102.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
95.
Now about 97.5.
97.5.
So they start off. So
That's more than I make as a full tenured professor after 25 years.
That's more than I make. at BNSF.
Is that the salary or is
Yep.
it time?
What
Or
they
are
do
we
is
being
they break it
slotted?
down to a daily rate of pay. The daily rate of pay for a dispatcher is like $365 a day. So every day that they go to work, they make $365.
So we're talking 8, 12, 16 shift hours or?
Yeah, you work 40 hours a week, five
Okay.
days a week. So what happens is, you go through the course. I mean, we take, and you find that I just ran into a guy. It was funny. I was sitting waiting on this thing to open. I ran into a guy that I met in Gulfport, Mississippi, at the Navy base down there in August of last year, who I talked to, who was an Air Force meteorologist. And I'm sitting right there. He walks by. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I had met him in Gulfport. Now he's here doing the dispatcher program. So we take people from a wide variety of different disciplines. Doesn't have to be anything specific. If you get in, like I said, 8 weeks in, you get a job offer. 8 weeks after that, you start working right here at our Network Operations Center in Fort Worth, making almost $100,000 a year. You don't even have to have a bachelor's degree. It's a hard class. I'm not trying to sell you, anything that's it's a very hard class. But again, if you can get through it, it's a really good goal to have. You're already here at TCC. It's a great position. We're hiring for them like crazy. So it's definitely something you might want to take a look at if in fact you're interested in. Again, stressful type of job. We don't pay $97,500 a year for no reason. It's a stressful job. You're in there. You're having to work around all the problems that come up and follow all the rules and regulations. And the conductors are calling you. Hey, why can't I move? Because you're, at the 30,000 foot level. You're seeing everything that's going on. And a conductor that's sitting in the cab who's just staring at a red light, he's calling you because he's mad because why can't I move? I've been sitting here for 4 hours. So you're dealing with stressful situations, which is why it pays so well. But again, put up with a lot more stress than that for $97,500.
Yeah.
So really, really good program. And we haven't always hired a lot of them, which we got ourselves into trouble because we didn't hire a whole lot, for the past 10, 15 years. Now we have this huge retirement bubble. A lot of dispatchers are getting ready to retire, so we're having to hire to backfill them. So it's a really good time if you're interested in that opportunity. So take a look at that. I've got some other flyers here that just kind of covers the other positions we have: conductors, signal apprentice, track maintenance, mechanics, electricians, first line supervisors, which we're also hiring for. But know that you have 2 full-time recruiters at BNSF Railway that we're paid to solely, assist you as best we can if you're interested in getting a job with BNSF.
Your contact information will be in there, I'm assuming.
Yep, I'll put my cards right over there. You have my email address, my phone number, all that good stuff. So.
I'm assuming the benefits are.
Yeah.
Better than the VAs.
Yeah, the benefits are a big reason why a lot of people come to work at the railroad, and that's what they're known for, is the benefits. Number one of which, medical coverage, full medical care, benefits package costs you about $198 a month.
Is that for our combat injuries and all that? Our medical conditions and those.
Would it cover prior medical conditions? I'm assuming it
Would you not be getting that under VA?
Yeah, it would, but you know how it is.
Well, then if you cover under VA, most private insurances won't cover it again. That's why the VA is there, is to cover that.
Yeah, but it takes like 5 months just for me to get the money.
Yeah, but because that's why they offer the VA at no cost, basically, you might cover it, but it's
Yeah.
usually, if you're eligible for VA and can get that, that's where they want you to go for those specific things.
Okay, but if I go to the VA, then I'll be able to.
You should. I've never been asked that question. That's a good question.
Because I was medical discharge.
Yeah, which is completely okay. No, I mean, as long as you don't have a dishonorable discharge. So, and the thing that we always ask on all of our job applications, or on all of our job descriptions, it gives you a laundry list of the physical requirements of the job. So let's say you want to be a conductor. It tells you must be able to climb on and off, locomotives, must be able to walk on uneven surfaces, must be able to work outdoors for extended periods of time. So it tells you up front, hey, these are the physical things that you're gonna have to do on a daily basis. If you can do those things, then you're good to apply. Now, we're gonna do a medical screening, we do a full physical and all that good stuff, just to make sure that, yes, you're in fact capable of doing those things. We do what's called a physical capabilities test. We bring a big machine, it looks like a big piece of gym equipment. We just test your strength and dexterity and flexibility. But then if you pass that, then you're completely okay for whatever job. Now, obviously, a dispatcher job is not physically demanding. You're literally behind a desk all day. So the physical requirements there are much lower than if you want to be a conductor or a track maintenance worker or something like that. But back to the benefits, not only that, but then you have a 401k. You also have railroad retirement, which pays out about 3 to 4 times as much as Social Security. So,
Are we talking about the 20-year mark or 25?
30 years for the full retirement, but you're vested after 5. So railroad, it's kind of crazy. Railroad retirement allows you to come out of the Social Security system. So you've been paying into Social Security for the past 5, 10, 15 years. When you come to work at the railroad, we literally take you out of the Social Security system. We put you into what's called railroad retirement.
So whatever the amount of money that we contribute to Social Security is going to be.
No, it comes with you. It comes with you.
Transfer over.
Yep, to the railroad. And what happens is you're that 7.65% that you're used to paying for Social Security, it goes up by about 4%. So it goes up a little bit. But then in the end, if you retire from BNSF or any railroad actually, the payout, the average annual annuity, if you retired this year and you had worked here for 30 years, is about $53,000 a year. So that's, you do 30 years. Somebody that started working at the railroad 30 years ago and they retired today, and they're 60 years old today, they've worked here for 30 years, they will get $52,000 a year for the rest of their life.
And does that include like 3% inflation?
Yeah, it has it's built-in cost of living index and all that stuff. It goes up every year, just like Social Security.
It's one of the few places they allow you to get out of Social Security because it's considered a better system. And it's a national, it's not a BNSF, it's a federally program that goes back years and years and years. They've done this, gosh, it's been like 70, 75 years they've done railroad retirement. So it's all, like you said, all railroad employees. So it's a very, very good system.
It's still government, like you said, it's still government ran. The government runs it, but it's a different program. Yeah, no, I didn't even realize until I started working here. So. Really good benefits, really good pay, and then really good career opportunities, you know, supervisory opportunities and continuing education.
Are there unions?
For most of the jobs, they are unionized. The
Okay.
dispatchers are unionized, the
Okay.
conductors, mechanics. And you can apply for what's called an exempt position, which is the managerial or the supervisory positions. A lot of the corporate positions, HR, stuff like that, those are gonna be exempt
But
positions.
dispatchers, they do have a union?
Dispatchers have a very good union, that's why they get paid so well, because they fought very
Yeah.
hard for those
And
wages.
their benefits are real good. What
Benefits are
about
really good.
conductors, is there?
Yep.
union?
They're unionized as well.
Okay.
Which it gets you, you know, they pre-negotiate all your pay raises, the exact specifics of what you can and can't do on the job, you know, and they act as a buffer between you and, you know, management in any disciplinary, you know, hearings or anything like that. But yeah, the vast majority of our workforce is unionized.
Is there annual raises for union, or is it likely to still?
Yep.
Okay, so it's all annual.
Yep, they pre-negotiate, just like when you were in the military every January, you got that 3%, 2% hike. Same kind of thing happens with us. They pre-negotiate all those things. So they'll go into a bargaining agreement or a labor agreement. They'll say, okay, for the next 8 years, we want this percentage of raise each year. If they agree on it, then that's exactly what they get. So it'll be kind of similar to. And the conductors, you know, they make, on average, those guys even make 68, 70, 73,000 a year. So all of our jobs pay extremely well.
Yeah, I actually just on the website the other day.
Oh, were you?
I actually applied for the transportation, track maintenance
Where at?
for BNSF.
For here in Fort Worth?
Yeah, Fort Worth.
Okay, I'll give you my contact. Reach out to me afterwards. Let me know what you applied for. I'll take a look.
Alright.
We'll see if we can get you an interview.
And how many hours do any of the, you know, you said what dispatchers get and this fixed pay, there's 60 hours, but what are the other jobs, conductors, track maintenance, do they require a certain amount of college hours as well?
No, that's a good question. There's no college requirement for conductors or track maintenance or signal apprentice, or none of it has a college requirement. The only thing that has a college, it doesn't even have a college requirement, the experienced first line supervisor program, we like to see a degree, doesn't necessarily require one. The only one that requires a degree are certain exempt corporate positions that they're looking for, and like the management trainee positions or the internship positions, but those are for, and a lot of people get confused. They'll go in there, they'll start applying for management trainee positions. Those are only for folks that have zero work experience. They've just graduated college, they've never been in the military, they've never been anywhere, so that's not really where you want to go. If you're looking for, hey, I want to be an operations supervisor, look at experienced first line supervisor. That program, it's the same program, it's just designed for folks that have actual work and leadership and experience, leadership and supervisory experience.
And the courses, class and so forth, will it be actually administered there through the BNSF, or would it be more I have to come here and take a couple classes here, and then it should be paid by the company, or will I have to be coming out of my pocket?
The dispatcher,
Or yeah, to become a supervisor position.
supervisor, we just hire you and we send you down to our technical training center in Kansas City. But you're already on the clock at that point, so your place of duty, if you will. I mean, you're gonna be down there learning, and then we shoot you out to your location, and then you're on site working. But you're already an employee, it's like you're showing up for work, just your,
The training.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And those, they move you every 6 months, don't they?
Not every 6 months, but I'd say, yeah.
They
it
move you
depends.
around though, right?
Yeah, for mechanical, I know we're getting into the weeds here, but for the mechanical folks, you have to move. You have to be relocated to whatever location it is that you selected at the interview. But then you're gonna stay put. Let's say you selected Seattle, Washington, you're gonna stay in Seattle for a good long while, because you're basically like a maintenance supervisor. You're supervising the maintenance of the locomotives and the electricians and making sure they're safe and all that stuff. If you apply for the EFLS track, structures, or signal position, or even the transportation position, they move you around, not every 6 months, I'd say every couple of years you're looking at probably moving, because it's a career move. It's, okay, you got it here, it's time now, we're gonna go show you something different. And that's gonna be part of your career development, you're becoming a better, more knowledgeable employee and stuff like that. But nonetheless, a really good.
And they help pay moving benefits, do they?
Yep, in those roles, not only will they help you move, let's say like in the Army or in the military, where were you stationed?
Fort Bliss, Fort Hood.
So you went from Bliss to Hood. So if you had been in Bliss and you had bought a house, right, and then they said, okay, now you gotta go to Hood. And you said, oh, I got a house here in El Paso. Well, then they're gonna say, oh, we don't care, pack your stuff, let's go. In our instance, if you're in Seattle and we say, hey, we need you to go to Denver, and you say, well, I bought a house, BNSF will actually purchase your house from you and then enable you to.
Market value or?
Yes.
Whatever.
Yep.
I've known 3 people that have done that. You don't lose any money. But
Yeah.
BNF is gonna guarantee you not to lose money from moving around.
Yeah, so you say that one of the, you know how it is.
Yeah, they're gonna make it fair.
Just like if you were selling it on the market, we're gonna give you the fair market value. So another benefit, you don't have to worry about that. Hey, we need you in Denver, you don't have to worry about the fact that you got a
And travel
house.
expenses like per diem and all that stuff, right?
Yep, in that role, so if you're an exempt employee, field supervisor, you gotta, like when I go to job fairs, I got a corporate credit card, hotel, food, all that stuff, it's covered, it doesn't come out of your pocket. Now, if you're a conductor, if you're a track maintenance worker, something like that, then we give per diem, we put you in a hotel, we do mileage pay, stuff like that, to make it worth your while that you're out and about, you're away from the house.
That's kind of more thing.
Yeah, exactly, just like being on TDY or, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, for the dispatcher course, it's downstairs, like my brother's a dispatcher, so, and he was a Navy vet, used his GI Bill, paid for the whole thing, got the BAH, now he works here in Fort Worth. Making a lot more money than I do, I somewhat regret getting the job, but, not really, he's a good guy. But, it's there, you got the benefits, so, kinda like what we were talking about earlier, you can use them in that respect, if you get in, I mean, it's a very clear, defined path to a very good career. So it might be worth taking a look. You know, when I got back from the Marine Corps, and I went to UTA, and I'm just kinda like, you know, whatever, I don't know, maybe I'll take this class. Luckily, I found my path, and I got to where I'm at, but downstairs, it's not like, hey, you're just gonna get this generalized degree. It's a certification course that leads directly into an extremely well-paying job. So you get a job offer before you're done. I've never heard of a certification course where you get a job offer before you even graduate, so.
Well, halfway through it, then you'll be screened.
Yep, halfway through it, we interview you again, you do your medical, you do your background check, all that good stuff, by the end of the course, because the last 2 weeks, you actually start working, at our corporate headquarters at the NOC, shadowing another dispatcher, watching what they actually do every day.
What's the graduation rate?
So each class has about 16 folks in it, most classes graduate all their students. I've seen a couple that drop to 1. The statistic that I was told was 15% attrition rate in the class, 15% attrition rate during the probationary period. Because you have a probationary period once you start. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of my friends into that told my friends, a lot of my friends about the program and they've gotten in. And a lot of their classes, they graduated every single one of their students. It's a hard class. You have to study a lot. They usually get out about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but a diligent student's going to be studying until about 6 p.m. every single day. And you have to maintain a certain average on your tests, or they do. They're like, you're not cutting it. Sorry. So if you're in for the challenge and you want to tackle it, it's really good course to get into. So.
I remember you mentioned something about signal, the position of signal. That would be, like, what exactly, because we consider descriptions.
Signals are, have you ever been stopped behind a train at a railroad
Yeah.
crossing? So those things that come down, so 5 miles down the road, a locomotive ran over a certain sensor. And that's gonna trigger, it's all electronic, that triggers that thing to come down, it triggers the timing, everything. So they maintain those components. Obviously, if that thing didn't work, bad things happen. So they go around on a certain district and they maintain all those components, making sure that they're working, testing them. If you ever go over a railroad track and you look down the railroad track, you're gonna see what looks like traffic signals. They actually tell the conductors what to do. Just like a traffic signal on the road, it tells them slow down, speed up, stop, whatever. They maintain all of those components. So all those electronic components, they build them when we're building new track, they install them, or they maintain them, around a certain district. So they look for folks with some electronics background, but they put them through a full-blown apprenticeship program. So we train them up a lot. But if you've got some electronic technician experience, just anything, doesn't have to be really in depth. And that's what they're kind of looking for. There's one down in Houston open right now. I was just talking to a guy before I came up here about it. Good position as well if you have that type of background. The track maintenance is perfect if you like working with your hands, you like using heavy equipment, you like being outdoors. What was your MOS?
I was actually logistics,
In what branch?
the Marine Corps.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And
I
look
work
at,
outside,
yeah,
on 7 tons, LVSRs,
Perfect.
C-130s,
Yep.
A-17.
and you're working with, same thing as being out with a squad, in the field. You're out there kind of off by yourself, just working on a project, maintenance project, and the sun's on, underneath the sun, and, stuck in cube land, pulling your hair out, looking at a spreadsheet, so. Yeah, so that's a good position, really good position, so. But tons of other ones, and I'll leave my contact information here, and I'll stick around for a little bit. If you got any questions, or, hey, what's this, or what's that, feel free to please reach out to me. Happy to help you out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you veterans, and my name is Jerry Gutierrez. I'm a coordinator for workforce training for Corporate Solutions Economic Development. We're located at Tarrant County College Opportunity Center, which happens to be located exactly on the opposite side of 820 here. We're right off East 820 off Ramey Avenue. And we offer programs of training for veterans. Before you, I have my card, which you have here. If you ever need to contact me, this is where I'm located. And before you too, you see what I offer here is some veterans grants training in these major areas right here. You'll see on here, the Texas Workforce Commission, along with the state of Texas, has granted Tarrant County College a $400,000 grant to train veterans. And veterans are trained in these particular areas. If you'll notice on here, we have, of course, Certified Logistics Associate or Certified Logistics Technician. We have the Computer Numerical Control Machining, which is very popular, by the way, in both that and logistics. We have our welding program, and we have one other program that's not shown on there, but it's under another veterans grant, is a composite manufacturing program that we have. Now these grants or these programs are open to all veterans who have honorable discharges. They are in 2 of them are 4-week training programs, the other 2 are 6-week training programs. Your 2 4-week training programs are the logistics and the welding, the CNC machining, and the composite manufacturing of 6-week training programs. I offer these programs generally after we complete one, then we'll start up another one. Generally how it works. I've already started all 4 programs already, starting this month. We started our composite January the 12th, and a week later we started the logistics, welding, and the if I remember it here, composite numerical control machining, excuse me. We've started them. So they're ongoing right now, and I've got veterans in all of those programs right now, training. And what we do, we train these veterans. After they complete the program, we provide a job fair for them. And we have employers who come out and interview the applicants, or our graduates in this case, to come in and pursue work, full-time work, be able to get themselves a job. The wonderful thing about this is these programs are intensively well-focused programs, specifically in these areas of training. And once you've completed the program and you acquire some form of employment, generally full-time, it enables you to make money and still go to school. You could come back and pick up your studies, say here at Northwest, or any other school that you decide to go into. Plus you have a career or an occupation that you can rely on or depend upon for some type of financial help or assistance. So it makes a great opportunity for a young person particularly to get in these areas. Many of them, and you may have heard that many of these fields are where the people are retiring, like even Caleb mentioned it, are retiring and getting out of the field. And we need to get some young folks into these areas, particularly in the machining area. That is a critical area. All 4 of these are available for you to look into or acquire if you'd like to get into. This is a participant information sheet, which I require for all veterans to fill out and send that to me for processing. In addition to that, I asked for a DD Form 214, or if you happen to be in the Guard, I found out it's an NGB 22 form, if it is, if I'm correct, but some means of some form of telling me that you, as a past military member, have an honorable discharge from the military. That goes with your application, and again, we process it and get you in the program. Now, currently, I'm planning on starting the composite manufacturing program listed on your sheet here on March the 2nd. It runs for 6 weeks. It's a fascinating program that we have on composites. It's, again, works with the industry, that particularly aviation, and any other industry where composites are needed. It's an up-and-coming field. The other programs, CNC machining, the logistics, and welding will begin on March the 17th, first day of class. Now, these programs run during the day from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. There is a little bit of difference on the composite. It runs from 2 in the afternoon till about 10:15, 10:30 at night, and that's Monday through Friday. So it is a little bit more convenient, especially if you need time during the day for things. But these programs are open for you as veterans and any other veteran, no matter where you're from, where you come from, here in Texas, okay, to get you into the program. I'm more than happy to talk to any veteran. If you have some veteran friends, neighbors, relatives, family members who would be interested in this type of training, please share this information with them too. You're more than welcome to make copies, particularly of this sheet right here, which is what I need for each veteran who comes into the program. Now, one of the things, or several things that I ask for veterans that I'm finding, is that if you decide you're going to get into the program, remember that you're going to be in class Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It's going to have to treat it like a full-time job for at least a short period of time, either 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Now, what you need to do is make sure that you've got all your other personal things taken care of, your appointments, things that won't interfere in your training. Make sure your family is aware of what you're doing, okay? And keep that in mind. You have to provide your own transportation, of course, and yourself. And if you like to eat like I do, provide yourself a sack lunch. You might want to bring that with you. On occasions, we will provide some means of food for you. We like you get pizza here. We'll do something like that for you too. But it's all for you, and there's no charge to the veteran to take any of these programs. If you have a situation where, again, I've had students that want to come in, but they need financial assistance, since obviously they're going to be in class all day and won't be able to work unless they work at night. But if you do need that, I have ways of you can work with organizations that I have on hand who can provide you that type of assistance. It's just on a case-by-case basis that I work with. Now, each of the programs, as I said, will have a job fair at the end. You'll be interviewed for a job, and hopefully at some point in time, you'll be able to acquire a job with the company. The last group that I had 9 employers out. I'm hoping to beat that number this time from around, and again, these are employers from around the county and inside, and even some that are outside. So I'm always more than welcome to see more employers to show up and interview our graduates. You have an opportunity to be interviewed by any and all companies there for your status as well as getting a job. So again, I can encourage you, if you come into the program, if you have considered a company in mind in one of these areas, we can certainly help you in that respect as well. So it doesn't take much. All you have to do is fill out this form and look forward to coming into the class in March. That is what we will do. You do not have to use your GI Bill. That's not necessary. As I said, everything is free and provided for you. Materials, equipment, labs, and it's no charge to you. It's a wonderful opportunity. I hope I can continue doing it for who knows how long, but again, I cannot guarantee that. That will be up to the state of Texas. So if you or someone you know of is interested in this, please take advantage of this. This type of training generally may take anywhere from a year to year and a half or more to go and complete it, but we're gonna do it in a short time. Now keep in mind, as I said, I can't offer you 97.5, but I can try to get you a job, okay? Get you working and get you in the field, and hopefully you can make some type of income and perhaps even further your education further. So this is a wonderful opportunity, and I hope that several of you may take advantage of it. If not now, perhaps later. If you need more information or you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call me. You have my card. Share this information with other veterans out there, and I'll be more than happy to work with them. Now I want to mention too, if you are a veteran or know of a veteran who has perhaps a disability or so, but has a spouse that's looking to work or would like to work, please have them call me. I can work something out possibly with them, okay? But again, it's a case-by-case basis, okay?
Regarding the grant
Training.
as well?
Yes,
The
yes,
grant
the
will
training.
spouse
It-
as well?
Right, it would be one of three, it'd be one of the three areas. Everything but logistics.
Okay.
Everything but logistics. Composite, CNC machining, welding, I might be able to help.
Is the
Okay.
CNC machine, sir, is that where, especially is that they have that machine where it basically, there's high pressure in the water that cuts the steel?
That is correct. Now, as an added treat, let me mention to Dr. Wood here. Dr. Wood has received from me some of this information here, in addition to some other information. And in that email that I sent her, there is some videos.
Right, there are links.
Yeah, links. They're video links is what they are. And they're video links to composite manufacturing and to CNC machining. So in regards to your question about CNC, I hope Dr. Wood will send that to you. And look down on the bottom when you get the email, and you'll see some links for you to go to. Click on it, and you'll see exactly what you're going to be doing with us. Okay? And the same for composites. They're both by instructors, and the instructors' names are there saying what there is. Okay? So feel free to look into that. Feel free to share it with other veterans. I'd love to have you all in, okay, and get you started and get into the program.
Is that here at this campus, or where would it?
The line?
No, it will be, we're located at the Tarrant County College Opportunity Center.
Okay.
Now, the address should be on the sheet, on one of the flyers there.
Oh,
The
okay.
corporate training center?
5920 Fitzhugh Avenue.
Oh.
Now, to locate, to get there, you have to go take 820 from here, go all the way around. We're on the far west side here of 820. So we happen to be on the opposite side from you, on East 820. But if you take 820 all the way, come all the way around, come south, and get to Ramey Avenue, R-A-M-E-Y. Okay, take that exit right there at Ramey Avenue. You can't miss it because you're just coming right off 820. Okay, come to the stoplight, go through the stoplight, stay on the service road, and go down about a block and a half, maybe two at the most, and you'll see Fitzhugh Avenue. Okay, F-I-T-Z-H-U-G-H. Okay, in fact, even before you get to Fitzhugh, if you look to the right, say, oh, there's this great big white building, and it says Opportunity Center on it. Okay, that's it. That's where we do it. Now, currently, I'm under constructing of a new welding lab in that building, but it's not quite finished. So if you're going to do welding with me, odds are you may be doing it at a remote location that I have set up. So if you decide, or have someone that comes in and wants to decide, I'll let you know about that, where it's at. Currently, I have 5 veterans right now being trained on welding in that remote location as we speak. So it'll be available. Otherwise, if I have my lab built, I'll have you in that building and have you working. So it's a great opportunity. It's fascinating. Some of this work is really fascinating. One of the things we do is that when the student does work, they do different projects that are really fascinating. They will take their projects to the job fair They will put them on the table. They will put their name with their products, the things that they've done, and all the employers will go around and look at the work that they've done. So you got this CNC machining student who's got 8 to 10 items there listed on their work, and there's their name, John Smith. They're looking at it and they're seeing what I say, I need to talk to this John Smith. I really like his work. See, it's the actual work they do. See, so again, you will be displaying your work. Same for the composites. They did the same thing. We had some beautiful work done by some ex-Marines who were in the composite. Anybody Marine here? Okay. He did a Marine emblem, okay, out of composite material. Just beautiful work. One of them did a clock with Marine on it, okay? They do different things, and they learn the basics of the things that you see on the composite manufacturing. So it's fascinating. It's a wonderful opportunity. Some of these are just great careers, and their demand too. These are all targeted occupations by the Texas Workforce Commission here in the Tarrant County area. So what that means is they're very high in demand, okay? Very high in demand. So consider it. If you have any more questions, I'll be around for a while. Feel free to call me if you need to or email me. I'm more than happy to work with you. And thanks again, Dr. Wood, for having me here today.
Thank you for coming out, we appreciate it so much. I will put all this up on the, if you're not enrolled in the MyTCC club for the Northwest Student Veterans, please go in and do that, because that way you'll get all the stuff that I send all the time about programs like this, contacts that we have, but then we get other stuff from Student Veterans Association National Office, and they send information and sometimes scholarships and so forth. So all you have to do is when you go under MyTCC at the top, it has a place where you can say TCC clubs and committees. If you click that and then choose the Northwest campus, we're on the second page. We're almost all the way to the end because it's Northwest or NW Student Veterans. So, and all you do is there's a little, when you hover over it, it'll give you the little, like a pull down link, and it says enroll. Click that, and it just asks you to put your name, and I believe it's your email address, something like that, and then it automatically makes you part of the group. So you can see everything. And we have discussion boards, so if there's something you want to ask other veterans or have a question, you can post there as well. Discuss. You guys have any questions? A little bit more pizza left if you want to give him another piece or so. He's already talking about, yeah. But anything else? We appreciate your coming today. In February, Anna Hinman, who is my faculty sponsor, she's going to be running a program, a mental health training program, specifically for veterans. This is a funded program. It's free. All you have to do is sign up. And they give you a sit-down meal. I think it's going to be on 2 Fridays in February. But she'll be sending out more information about that. It's a really great program. It's to help you help other people as well, so that you friends and colleagues that you think may be having issues or difficulties. This is a program to help you identify that and learn how to take action and who to contact and so forth. And for yourself, if you feel you need some kind of help or issues that you're going through. So that will be in February. March, I don't know the date for that yet. We'll have a speaker about transitioning back into civilian life, because this is the #1 issue most of our veterans today are having, putting up with all these civilians that drive you nuts. Right? But you're going to have to, because the rest of the world is civilian, and you're going to have to figure out. So this is a way to help deal with those frustrations and people who've been there before. We have a lot of veterans even on our campus who work here, who've been to the same places you have, and the same frustrations, or how do why isn't this going the way I want, or why do they do it this way, and helping you make that a little bit easier. So those are the programs we sort of have on tap. So I hope you'll stay tuned and come back. And if you have any questions, or for these gentlemen, please feel free to talk.
Just another note, by the way, I am a veteran too, of over 20 plus years. I also retired out of Carswell here.
Hey.
All right, so I'm Air Force. Who else are we? Army here? I see an Army guy with an Army shirt. Army? Marines? Hoorah? Marine. All right. Navy?
I'm a spouse, sorry. I just
Okay.
with my husband, so.
Well, good. Listen, don't forget, I have something for you if you're interested.
Actually, I work at Lockheed, so with composite and machining.
Oh, okay.
They're all
Come see me.
retiring, so.
See me, okay? I can talk with you. Now, I do want to extend an open invitation to you to come out to the Opportunity Center. You don't have to have a personal invitation. We're open 8 to 5 out there when we're out there. Of course, the Opportunity Center is a 24-hour operation out there. okay? So, we deal with many companies as well. We customize training for companies, not only just we work with. It just so happens I have veterans grants, so I love the veterans, so I work with them. But we deal
Everybody
with
does right now.
companies, okay? If you work for a company and later on, you may come out to us for some more of the customized training. The company's paying for you to come out there, so consider that.